Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2014, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our goal in providing these candidate interviews and profiles is to arm the voters with the information necessary to make informed and educated decisions in this year's election. Please visit shakopee.org to find out all of the information you need to know about upcoming candidate debates, as well as polling locations and times. Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2014, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and today I am joined by Derek Thury, who is running for the Minnesota State House of Representatives for District 55A. Thank you, Derek, for being here today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
To start this out, why don't you just give the audience at home a brief introduction of yourself and talk a little bit about your past experiences?
Sure. Well, for a while, I lived in Hastings in Minnesota, and I was very politically active in the community there. I did a lot of things. I would say majority of it was the Historical Society. Just around town, I did everything I could possibly get my hands on, a lot of community pet projects, things like that. After a while, I moved to Shakopee. I did a few smaller things, but by that time, I was a little more grown up. I saw a little more things, and I thought I might as well start in the adult world of politics. First foray into it.
Well, great. So let me ask you this then, Derek. In your view, what is the most pressing issue facing the state of Minnesota in the next few years, and how will you work to address it?
Well, I think there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of social issues. There's like same-sex marriage, legalization of marijuana, a lot of social issues. But I think the biggest concern we have is kind of two-pronged. One of them is the budget issue, because we've quite a budget problem, a little bit overspending. And without that, it doesn't matter what the social issue is, because without a budget, you can't do anything about it anyways. But more specifically, because it's kind of a broad answer, would be more specifically the roads, transit. A couple of years ago, we received some federal money for spending in transit and helping us out with that, because we have such harsh winters that our roads are devastated every spring from it. So I'd like to take a look at the budget. I'd like to take some of the money that we receive from the federal government, which we've spent just a small portion of, and I'd like to completely redo the transit. I'd like to take care of the roads, because the way we're doing it now works, but I don't feel it's the correct answer. I think that there's a better way we can go about it. And then after that's taken care of, possibly move on to something else, something maybe that the community as a whole thinks of, work together with everyone on that.
Great. Obviously, being a Chamber of Commerce, we're always concerned to candidates' views on the business community. So if elected, what are 3 concrete action items that you would propose or support to improve or enhance the health of the business community?
Well, I think there isn't a huge issue with small or with large corporations and things like that, with Best Buy or Walmart or Target. But I think that small business is the key pillar of any good community or anything like that. So I would support perhaps tax breaks and tax incentives with them, allowing it easier for you to start a business and perhaps even compete with some of the larger corporations. As well as I would think that every community on a case-by-case basis, like a township or a town in general, go through and grab some local people and start perhaps a committee, allocate some money to starting a committee that looks over and sees what is best for that specific town, again on a case-by-case basis, looking for what is better for starting a small business.
Okay. Anything else that you would consider?
No, I think I think the taxes is just a major problem with starting a business, not to mention the fact that they have to compete. So I think the committee would really help with helping them compete against someone who, like Walmart or Target, wouldn't have a huge issue with that.
Sure. Great. So if elected, do you believe a representative's vote should be primarily influenced by party affiliation, personal beliefs, or by their constituents' opinions, and why?
100% constituents, because when you have personal beliefs, you're elected by a group of people, and I think that that's obvious to a lot of people that that's a huge issue we have with politics on a state and a federal level, is that everyone always votes for their personal beliefs or for their party line, which although your party you affiliate with, you would like to help them most, and most people obviously associate themselves with a specific party. I think the constituents as a whole is what really matters. I mean, you could be a Democrat or Republican elected in a county or a district that is total opposite from what your party is. And I think it's important that you vote the way your constituents want, because they elected you, they're your lifeblood, they're the reason you're there. So your personal beliefs, and to a certain degree your party line, shouldn't have any effect on what the people believe, because that's who you're there for in the first place.
Okay, great. Last question, kind of an easy one. Tell the voters why you're the best candidate for the job.
Well, I think your last question touched on it. I don't think that the candidates that are also running, and I think the candidates that are people that have had the job before me and in other jobs, don't necessarily always vote for the way their constituents are. It's a problem that I see very often, that they toe both the party line and more specifically their personal beliefs. It's a huge issue. I think that a lot of people just want their voice heard, and they haven't heard it in so long that they've just kind of gone along with it. And I think I'm the first person to honestly say, despite whatever my personal beliefs are, and again, to a degree, whatever my party line would be, it doesn't matter. It's what the people want, because that's who you're there for.
Derek, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you giving us your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you for watching this edition of Meet the Candidates 2014. Please visit the Chamber website at shakopee.org to find out all of the information you'll need to know about upcoming candidate elections, as well as polling locations and times.